Hi, I'm Jane Rudolph.
And I'm Monsignor Charles Minor.
I'm Father Joe Glass. Welcome to Reel to Reel.
Well, we don't have time to chat tonight, so what we're going to be doing is getting right off to a good start here tonight. Tell you what's going to be happening. We're going to hear from a little elf. Well, he doesn't live in the North Pole, but he does repair toys and really does exemplify the spirit of Christmas.
Spirit of Christmas is around the world. We'd like to show you some creches around the world, as well as Father Tom Legere is going to talk to us about the miraculous.
And just in time to ruin your New Year's Eve party, I'll be chatting with Dr. Art Shuman, one of the country's leading experts in alcohol law, and we'll see how alcohol is affecting our young people.
I don't know how true it is, but they said that W.C. Fields had a standard joke. When invited to drink on New Year's Eve, was always supposed to have said, well, that's for amateurs, not for professionals. There's nothing amateur or professional about over-drinking.
No, that's true, and especially on the college level, because students seem to use alcohol for many different reasons. Number one, to get away from their studies. Number two, to fit in for the crowd. And number three, just to have fun. But as we find out on LaSalle University's campus, fun is not always the case.
The party is more or less half of going to school.
Everybody has a tendency to get together on Friday and Saturday nights and party, and they don't just drink a little bit, they drink a lot.
Part of the party scene in college life is just so, outrageous.
These students not only know the problem, they also agree upon the solution.
To try to get to people to know what alcohol abuse is more or less about, and also for them to know it's more or less half the battle.
I think all schools should be involved with informing students about it.
Awareness is the main issue.
New Jersey's Burlington County College took a cue from the students and staged a mockaholic cocktail party as part of National Collegiate Alcohol Awareness Week. Louise Rubelow, Student Affairs Director, is proud of the college's efforts to inform students about alcohol abuse.
I think that the main effort at Burlington County College is to continually plant a seed. We want to let people know that if they're abusing alcohol, that they can get help. And if they're abusing alcohol, that they don't have to continue to abuse alcohol, they can stop. That's why we have the Mockaholic Cocktail Party. The Mockaholic Cocktail Party shows students that they can have a good time without drinking alcohol. And that, again, we plant the seed, we let them taste cocktails that are non-alcoholic. The Mockaholic Cocktail Party is always fun. Student Senate will be giving out balloons. We'll also be having our school mascot, the Pink Panther, walk around handing out material. So we should have a good time. Plus, Bill O'Brien, who is head of Artisan, will be having his band, and they're going to be singing some songs that are directly related to responsible drinking and what alcohol abuse can cause.
After their guitar player was nearly paralyzed by a drunk driver, members of Artisan made a commitment to do a lot more than make music with a good beat. Artisan band member Bill O'Brien shares the band's experiences.
This whole thing was an interruption of what that main goal was, to get out there and make records so people could hear us. Somehow that accident changed our mind. As far as whether Mike was going to live or die, all we had was science and a faithful prayer. We had a message to put out. We have a thing that we have to do. I believe that's why he's still here. Why this band comes out to schools and colleges is not for the money. And as far as I can see, how many people really know we're coming to a college to do it, except for the people who are involved in it. Again, there it is. Only if you're involved do you pay attention to what we're talking about. However, if you were a teacher and you left this college, or you got a call saying that your teenager was hit by a drunk driver, then you'd be involved. If the guy was a superstar in high school or college, if he was a brain, what a waste of a mind, what a waste of a talent to be hit by this guy who really don't care about. If he does care about living, he doesn't care about himself. Don't drink and drive. That's what this message is all about.
In addition to their live performances, Artisan is educating people about irresponsible drinking through a 38-minute film, Arrive Alive, produced in conjunction with Store Cable.
Hopefully you can learn something from it. Arrive Alive.
What we hope they get out of it is the fact that they can listen to what we're saying and believe it. Not just say this is just another piece of film. you know, another documentary on an already dead subject. It's not a dead subject, and it will become explicitly alive if it happens to you. And what we're trying to say is be very aware.
Elsewhere, LaSalle University's response to student drinking set a precedent for Catholic colleges in the Philadelphia area. Early in 1986, LaSalle opened Backstage, an on-campus, non-alcoholic nightclub. As Director of Food Services at LaSalle, Steve Greb is very much involved in the daily operation of Backstage.
Backstage is many, many different things. I think first and foremost, Backstage is supposed to be a fun place. LaSalle feels itself to be very unique in the way that Backstage came to be. It was born out of a need for two things. One was to provide some new life to the students of LaSalle University, as well as a year ago summer, the university was considering changing its alcohol policies. And as it was considering doing that, this project was moving ahead. And as a part of the design, we felt that blending in a non-alcoholic slant to the program and the menu and the type of things that we would offer, we weren't too sure whether or not students would react very well to a cocktail without the alcohol. As it turns out, the mocktails, as we call them, are very popular. We're not running out every night of the beverage, but where they come into play is it lends to the overall atmosphere. And part of the fun element of what is in Backstage is the feeling that one gets when you enter the area. First and foremost, what I think is created is an illusion of a bar area. Somebody can order a mocktail and get it in a nice glass, which is presented by a waitress, and they can have a feeling that they're at a club and have a good time with it. The thought for having such a facility was that, again, student life needed a shot in the arm, and live entertainment and programming of musical acts and things like that, we felt would be a great way to kind of unify the people that live on campus and to have an area where they could get together and sit down and meet with friends and enjoy themselves and relieve some of the pressures of the everyday academic environment.
Manager Diane Seufer-Goldstein oversees much of the programming offered at Backstage.
The club has programming 6 nights a week. There's a DJ every night. There's a 6-foot TV screen, and there's videos, and there's bands, live bands, 1 to 2 nights a week. And there's a real club ambiance here, and that's what makes it a special place to all of us at LaSalle.
Is Backstage making a difference?
I don't really know whether or not Backstage per se is making a difference in attitudes towards drinking on campus. I think that the major factor, at least for myself and probably for the university as well, is that there's an alternative now, and there wasn't one before.
Now, we'd like to tell you with New Year's Eve just around the corner that if you do run into a problem, remember there's cabs that can be called, friends, grab the keys, do anything, but please avoid drinking and driving.
Think very soberly about that and wait with us, for we have more to tell you. Hello, I'm Monsignor Charles Minor. Since 1981, Reel to Reel has proclaimed the good news by bringing you stories of Christian faith in action. We do it by roaming the Delaware Valley, searching for people of faith, of hope, and of charity. But like all modern media, it is an expensive proposition. If you're a new viewer, or if you've enjoyed Reel to Reel for many years, we would like to thank you for watching and invite you to participate by actively supporting the show. Today, with costs rising all around us, we need your financial support. A donation of $5, $10, $20, or whatever you can send would help ensure the continued presence of this program. Send your contributions to Reel, 222 North 17th Street, Room 907, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 19103. And thank you.
Hello, I'm Gary Maddox. Learning to read can change your life. To get help, call the Mayor's Commission on Literacy at 686-8652.
think of school, we can think of the 3 R's, reading, writing, arithmetic. Perhaps we should be adding a 4th one, and that's raising a cold one. To talk about the problem of drinking on our college campuses, with me today is Dr. Art Shuman. He is the chairman of the Business Law Department at LaSalle. Art, welcome to the set of Reel to Reel.
Nice to be here, Father.
You just saw the piece along with the rest of our viewers on what some of the colleges, your own LaSalle and Burlington County College, are trying to do to combat the drinking and the problem of it. What's your reaction to the piece? Any initial feelings?
Well, I think it really just touches the surface. Everybody has to realize that virtually every college in the country is facing this problem. That is the problem of alcohol use and abuse on college campuses, and they're starting to deal with it. The piece about LaSalle really is just one small part of what's happened at LaSalle. LaSalle, over a period of about 2 years, completely revamped its campus alcohol policy, cut back very significantly on the amount of drinking done, and essentially became a legal campus. That is, that you had to be of legal age to use or possess alcohol. The piece you saw about Backstage was an effort on the part of the university to fill the void, to provide something to take the place for the students of the alcohol that was being removed.
What brought about this whole plan at LaSalle?
Well, I think the academic world at large is just starting to become aware of the immensity of the problem of alcohol use and abuse, not just on college campuses, but among young people in general. We're at a point in the United States now where the average age at which our kids start drinking is down to 11 and a half years of age, 11.6 actually, where you or I, perhaps when we were in school, started drinking as 11th or 12th graders. Now kids start in 6th grade. So children arrive, or young people arrive at our college campuses with 5 or 6 years of drinking experience under their belt. We have a toughening of criminal laws, and primarily the thing that's really got colleges gun shy is a tremendous change in the rules concerning civil liability. We see every day one university being sued for $27 million, another for $75 million, another pays a judgment of $5 million. Well, colleges and universities just can't afford to take these monetary risks, so they're being forced to face the question of alcohol and alcohol use by basically underage drinkers.
How bad is the problem on our college campuses?
Well, to describe the problem with a single statistic, in 1984, more than half, 54% of all the beer consumed in the United States of America was consumed on its college campuses. Wow. $33 billion worth of beer. Last year's study by the University of Michigan's Institute for Drug and Alcohol Studies tells us that 92% of America's college students are regular drinkers, 45% get drunk at least once a week, 43% admit that drinking interferes with their ability to go to class, and the estimates are that as many as 2 out of every 5 college students today already have a serious drinking problem.
It's incredible numbers.
It really is a monstrous problem.
Now, Doctor, we hear about programs, the Responsible Drinking Program. Are they working?
Well, I chuckle when you say, and I noticed in the piece that we just saw a button that said "Drink Responsibly," and I hope everybody's aware of the fact that the campaign for drinking responsibly is a product of the brewery industry. And keep in mind that the first word in "Drink Responsibly" is drink. And I think I prefer to approach it from the angle of be responsible about drinking, which is to say that people have to realize, first of all, that if drinking for them is an illegal act, that's by definition irresponsible. It's irresponsible to break the law. We now have a 21-year-old drinking age everywhere in the United States of America. And I think being responsible about drinking means doing it only legally. It means doing it when you have all the facts and all the information, and when you're mature enough to make a decision about what effect it may have on your future.
Okay. Do you have a solution? I gather you're not big on the Responsible Drinking Program. What is your solution?
Well, I think the solution, the solution's a very complex one, but certainly the major part of it is a changing of the awareness of our society. People have just got to become aware of what a tremendous problem this is and what it means. Our present generation of young people, if the experts are correct, are facing a future where we expect an alcoholism rate 6 times higher than ever in the history of the United States, with corresponding rates in suicide, divorce, business failures, lost homes, and so forth. So I think the main thing is for the society at large to become aware of what a tremendous problem this is.
Okay. Doctor, thanks for being with us. Thanks for sharing your expertise.
It was a pleasure.
Back to you, Monsignor and Jane.
Thank you, Father. A perfect subject to talk about this week. And another thing that happened this week for all of us was a visit from St. Nicholas. Although when we think about Christmas, some of the warmth and really the memorable moments are when we do have visits from relatives and from friends.
And while we talked about alcoholism and its dangers, we think about visits and how we should really classify our visits into really social, family, beautiful affairs. And I think nothing heightens a visit these days as the creche in your family. And perhaps we can heighten your visit by showing you some creches from around the world.
Okay, Monsignor, to put you on the spot, which one was your favorite?
I'm a Renaissance man. Italian was mine. And yours?
The American cookies that we're not supposed to eat.
You better wait. We'll be right back.
In his backyard workshop in Franconia, Virginia, Jim Thayer collects and repairs thousands of toys, which he then gives to children who would otherwise have none.
"20 years ago, leukemia and related diseases took the lives of enough people to fill a ballpark. But today, more people are surviving, thanks to research by the Leukemia Society of America.
Hi, I'm Gary Carter. Join the team that's striking out leukemia. The Leukemia Society of America. We're closing in on a killer.
We welcome your comments and suggestions and encourage you to write to us at Reel to Reel, 222 North 17th Street, Room 907, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 19103, or call us during regular business hours at 215-668-9842.
When we think of the miracles of the season, we think of the Star of Bethlehem leading the wise men to the manger, and of course, the angels singing glory to God in the highest.
The miraculous is always very tough to handle. And you never know what to think or what to say. People ask you, are miracles true? Well, listen to Father Tom Legere. He'll help us to sort out the parapsychological from the unexplainable.
Greetings in the Lord. Recent events in Yugoslavia, in which the Blessed Mother has appeared to us again, remind us all that miracles continue to happen. But what exactly is a miracle? Because yesterday's miracle becomes today's realized human potential. For example, let's take a look at the whole phenomenon of healing. At one time, everybody assumed that all healing that took place was automatically a miracle. But today, because of the profound interrelationship of body, mind, and spirit that we're aware of the fact that every healing is not necessarily a miracle. When the blockage is removed, healing is facilitated. Now, sometimes the miracle is of a spiritual nature, but sometimes it's not. So every miracle, every healing is not necessarily a miracle. A second area that we can take a look at would have to do with what we might call the parapsychological dimension. Some things like bilocation, being in two places at the same time. We would say clearly, now that's a miracle. Or what is referred to as materialization, making something materialize out of the clear blue sky. Now, get ready for this. According to the latest thinking in contemporary physics today, those things are not necessarily miracles. It is possible, for example, according to Einstein, to be in two places at the same time. Not likely, but nevertheless possible. So while that is obviously a very strange occurrence, it is not necessarily a miracle. Now, a third group would be things that we simply cannot explain no matter how we look at it. One thing would be the appearance of the Blessed Mother, and at that appearance, people are able to look right into the sun without their retinas being burned. People are able to observe the sun that is spinning. Well, that's a miracle. And the same, of course, would apply to the greatest miracle of all time, the resurrection of our Lord from the dead. Now, in speaking this way, we're not trying to just explain things away. We're just realizing, I think, that our untapped potential is real, while at the same time, of course, always leaving room for the unexpected and the unexplainable that come to us from the hands of God.
It's always the way. You get a broken heart or a broken relationship or a broken body, we think somebody has to fix it, and right away, perhaps they're looking for miracles all the time.
That's true. And speaking of fixing things, well, Christmas is a time for brand new toys when little ones hope that the elves up in the North Pole are going to making wonderful toys for them. But what does happen to all those toys that get broken and kind of thrown by the wayside? We'd like to tell you about someone who exemplifies the spirit of Christmas giving. No one does it quite like Jim Thayer.
Most people give gifts only on special occasions, but Jim Thayer keeps the spirit of giving alive every day of the year.
Wife and I had with 2 children down here in Virginia, and we took in, I made a few toys. I always like to make toys. We got them some clothes, and next year I got more interest in it. It just kept increasing and then increasing and then increasing.
In his backyard workshop in Franconia, Virginia, Jim Thayer collects and repairs thousands of toys, which he then gives to children who would otherwise have none. He began repairing toys 25 years ago, and in that time has given away more than 46,000 different items, from wagons and dolls to books and games.
Even while I worked, I'd get up in the morning at 3:30, get there by 5, 4:30 or 5. Work to 6:30 on toys, work my lunch hour. If sometimes I needed a toy to be fixed, I would forego my lunch hour. I wouldn't eat so that that toy would get fixed. And then when I came home after supper, I'd take the trash out. While I'm out, I'm going for about an hour and a half. So it averages about 40 hours a week. I would think I have more time when I'm retired, but I don't. But the time goes by so fast. And some people have asked me, what did you get out of it? Like I'm making a living out of it. I just want to see somebody happy. I like to have a toy store, but all a child would have to do is walk in, look at me, and I give them the toy. So I'd be bankrupt before the week was up. Some people like to go to ball games. Some people like to go fishing, football. I'd rather work on toys. I just wish I could do more.
In the neighborhood, Jim Thayer is fondly referred to as the second-hand Santa. His small shop is stacked to the ceiling with toys that have either been donated by clubs and civic groups or simply left on his doorstep in the middle of the night.
I would like to see somebody else get into this business, because that's my one problem. I know I won't be here forever. And what I've built up in 25 years, I hate to see it go down the drain, because that would really hurt. It was in the paper not too long ago where a young lady thought it was terrible because people, mothers and fathers were saying there's a Santa Claus. They're preaching to the children. She says, that's not true. But if they'd stop and think, that's the only thing a child's got left to hang on to. Yeah, there's a Santa Claus. I'm his helper, I ought to know. If there was more Jim Thayer's toy shops in this world, people who cared, who got interest in toys, there would be no time for guns, no time for robbery, killing. It'd be peace. Just get more people involved in giving instead of receiving.
With all this talk about family, I think it's important to note that today is the Feast of the Holy Family. Maybe you heard about it in church this morning.
And I hope you realize it's not just children either. It's senior citizens and retired people as well. Be sure you tell us about your family life.
Sure, the picture of the family is changing, and we want you to know the church does support the family unit. Our prayers and best wishes are with you on this feast day.
Have a safe week, and please do take care.
Goodbye and God bless you.
Good night. See you next week.
And Happy New Year.
Travel arrangements for reel-to-reel by Atkinson and Mullen Travel of Media, PA. Phone area 215-565-7070.
You've learned a lot in your life. Share the experience of a lifetime.
Pope John Paul II has praised the Catholic press for its truth in witnessing to the faith. In Philadelphia, its suburbs, and the Allentown area, the Catholic Standard and Times serves the needs of the Catholic community by providing regular, accurate, and detailed information about your church. Keep up with the weekly news and features that shape your world. Subscribe to the Catholic Standard and Times. For more information, call 587-3666.